Hello everyone at home. Today we're going to be running a one-shot, last-minute, low prep. Got the new crew here, some new faces, some old faces. It's going to be great. It's going to be Fate Accelerated, based on the hit game Darkest Dungeon. Shout out to Red Hook Studios. So, we're going to start this off with a letter received by Albert Fenn from his uncle. And this will be an audio file, so I hope you have your music turned up. And it reads as such.
Welcome to our family. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity. Until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
That is a letter you received from your uncle one day as you were going about your crusader duties, praying to your god and whatnot. But, for all that, let's get character introductions out of the way. We'll start with Matt. Who are you? Why are you with...
Well, I am Dr. Silas, a doctor, a researcher, and an alchemist. Usually I prefer to hang in the back and throw things at my enemies, eating away at them, and making sure they inhale the toxic clouds that I produce with my weaponry. I make lots of experimental remedies. I like testing my healing practices on myself, making sure they work. Making sure that I am ever moving forwards towards a cure of the scourge. Scourge that infects all of humanity. Soon it will take every single one of us, unless I and my compatriots figure out how to stop it.
Great. Next up, let's go with our new recruit, Big B.
So I'm Big B, and I'm going to be playing Shiloh the Grave Robber. She is a, I am known for my skills, so I am just here to do what I'm paid to do, and that is to unlock things, dig up things, whatever kind of manual work you need. So my aspects are I'm a greedy lock popper for hire. My trouble is I open the Forbidden Crypt. My other two aspects are right tool for the job and steady hands. And yeah. And for my stunts, I have because I live in the shadows. Once per session, I can suddenly appear somewhere from the darkness.
Okay. Sim?
Francis, the bounty hunter. Always after the next big bounty. Big or small, does not matter to me. I just want the money. I don't believe much in religion. That's the poor man's worry. I find that thinking carefully tends to go a long way. Although I often take out more than I can handle. It's me or them at times. And then I use a stunt maker to pick my stunts, which is grant 2 to a specific action using a specific skill once per scene. No idea what that does, really. Grant 2 to a specific action using a specific skill when attempting something that is your specialty.
Okay. Next up, Fruit Loop.
Gabriel is a pursuer of the occult, though not by his choice. He was simply a resident of a small hamlet before stumbling upon some sort of ritual in which he became involved. Afterwards, he escaped, but he was racked with voices in his head, which drove him mad and made him an extremely unstable character. Whispers that no mortal should ever have to hear. He discovered these dark secrets, and whether by chance or strength of will, he was able to maintain his sanity and found his way to the Church of Elysia, where he met Albert, who agreed to fight the darkness and contain it alongside him.
And finally, playing Albert, Emma.
My name is Albert Fenn, Crusader of Elysia of the Light, and Bane of Aesiel of the Dark. My uncle Edric has reached out to me. In his cowardice, he has turned to the dark and unleashed something upon this world. With my blessed greatsword in hand, I have now recruited suitable allies to delve into my familiar home, to rid it of the evil brought upon it by my uncle. I will stop at nothing to destroy this plague. I will stop at nothing to save my home.
So, Albert Fenn is a Crusader of Elysia of the Light. He will always choose to follow Elysia's ways, no matter if that puts him into some dangerous situations or not. He's also willing to work with some lesser evils in order to get rid of greater evils, which is why he's okay with recruiting Fruit Loop's character as well. And yeah, he has a blessed greatsword where once per game session he can smite evil with the light of Elysia for some extra damage, and he gets +2 when he chooses to act in a way that honors his beliefs but puts him in a dangerous situation.
Okay. Well, that's all of our players here tonight. So let's kick this off. Albert, after receiving this message from your uncle, how exactly did you feel?
I felt disgusted that my uncle would do such a thing. Felt it necessary to immediately return to my home to fix this error that he has caused.
Okay, and along your way, you either ran into some old friends, some new faces, and you happened to amass a nice little party through whatever means you could come up with to assist you in purging the evil deeds done by your uncle. To which the 5 of you sought out a cart, a carriage to transport you. You're a couple days away from where you needed to be. So we'll start there. As the 5 of you ride this carriage. It's getting late in the evening. It's a nice bumpy road going up some mountain through the forest you emerge and whatnot. If you want to get to know each other a little bit better, we have some character interactions.
Dr. Silas sits in the carriage, slightly hunched over, hands together, looking down, playing with their fingers, rubbing them back and forth. And they look up at everyone else, examining them very closely. There doesn't seem to be any eyes visible behind the mask, nor a face. All that is seen is the hood and the large kind of nose that is on the plague doctor's classic mask. And they look at you, each of you, very closely, waiting.
Gabriel doesn't give any response. He's simply sitting there, muttering to himself. His knuckles are white, gripping the cane that he has carried ever since he can remember. There's no explanation for his ravings, only silence.
Francis, look over. Is there a plague here?
Well, there is always a plague where there is humanity, Francis.
This is true. Sweet urchins are filthy.
We all carry some sort of sickness, Francis, somewhere deep inside us. Don't you think?
I do. I think you're wrong with thinking the doctor could do anything about it.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, Francis. You see, I believe that maybe we, can figure something out. It's got to be a cure. If not, well, culling will work. But the cure is first.
Culling seems more effective to me.
True, but too many bodies breeds more illness, breeds more sickness.
Gabriel taps his cane on the floor of the carriage and looks up rapidly at Francis, his neck making an audible pop as he does so. Perhaps lust is the sickness within you. Lust for power, coin, whatever it may be. Don't point fingers. He returns to his ravings.
What exactly are you raving about, Gabriel?
They're not ravings. It's a conversation.
With?
He looks up at... Oh no. He looks up at her and says, "That's none of your concern," in a very tense voice, before closing his eyes and...
How are you feeling, Gabriel? Any symptoms? Dr. Silas just stares at you with these dark eyes coming from the mask.
I can assure you, this disease, if you would like to call it that, isn't fatal. I've been carrying it for long enough to know that.
We'll have to look into curing that, won't we?
That's exactly what I seek. Coming on this trip with Albert, we've discussed it at length. Albert, me, and the voices.
How many
Albert
voices?
looks. Go ahead, Sam.
How many voices are there?
Voices uncountable. A few that I recognize. the stable boy from the hamlet in which I grew up. I don't know how he got in my head, but he's certainly kinder than the others.
Albert looks up after hearing bits and pieces of this conversation.
Gabriel is atoning. He is in the process of atonement. This evil will be rid of him, one way or another, quite shortly. I'm sure of it.
I'm happy to make a
I'm sure of it.
diagnosis if needed. Albert.
No diagnosis is needed, Dr. Silas. The light of Alicia will cure this map.
Sure.
You do not believe.
I don't follow you for your beliefs, Albert. I follow you because I believe that you will assist me in figuring out what exactly this scourge that I have seen is, and help me carve it out of humanity. Maybe we're talking about the same things, different words. That's what I want to figure out, Albert.
Albert nods underneath his armor.
As long as we have the same goal, then that is fine. But leave Gabriel to me.
Fine.
Dr. Silas straightens up, unclasps their hands, puts them to the side on the chair, leaning back, looking over at Shiloh, who's been fairly quiet so far.
What kind of scourge are you talking about that people have?
The scourge, Shiloh. It infects all of us. Just some pronounce more symptoms than others.
The scourge of people living? Would that be it?
Not exactly. But the dead don't have it.
Oh,
I assure you, if your cure is death, I can tell you they're not grateful for whatever you may offer.
I think they would be more thankful than living with the scourge. Gabriel?
The dead may not speak to you, but I've heard their voices. People like you, those experiments of yours, they bring no more life than they do death.
My experiments have saved many, Gabriel.
The dead have spoken to me as well, and mostly they have said, "We have been buried with many great things, and you should dig them up and take them from us," and I appreciate that very much.
That's a lot of words for a dead person, Shiloh.
Well, they say it in their intentions, not so much in words.
The voices of the dead should not be heeded nor trusted. It'd be best to ignore them when possible.
Ignore them.
Yes, ignore them. Cast them aside.
He turns to Shiloh, his head cocking. I think you should be more careful around the dead. Perhaps they mean their speech as not imitation, but a trap, a taunt, if you will.
if one wants to fall for this trap of the dead, you should let them, if they're... And Dr. Silas turns her head towards Shiloh as they say this. Stupidity will be the end of them. Turns back to Gabriel. Isn't that right, Gabriel?
Stupidity, lust, any number of scourges that can never be eradicated. Those are the true cause of all of our death.
Albert, when are we to arrive?
Demi, when are we to arrive?
Albert, you say this to the stagecoach, who turns his head. He had been steering his horse. He says, it shouldn't be more than a couple of hours till we reach the hamlet. Roads have been pretty rough this lately. But I've got a sharp eye, I tell you. He gives you a smile, missing teeth.
Very well. Thank you for performing your duty so diligently.
Oh, yes, of course. That's what you pay me for.
Of course. You have your answer, Dr. Silas. No more than a few hours.
Thank you, Albert.
Dr. Silas again looks down, their hands hunching over slightly, playing with their fingers again.
As you guys settle down and buckle up for this ride, things seem eerily quiet, maybe, and you can hear the sounds of the forest. You arrive along an old road, winds, serpent-like. You can see the countryside not too far ahead. And suddenly, there's a huge jump in the cart. You hear the horses whinny. Things are shaking around. It seems as if you're going for a tumble. There's only a split moment in which some of you may grab on to your seats or maybe brace yourself for impact before there's a crash. You go rolling down. And when you come to, it seems your stagecoach is utterly destroyed. The wheels are shattered. You fell down a good maybe 10 feet. You can see the road up above you.
Where's the driver of the stagecoach? Can I find him?
Yeah, it's easily enough. You pick yourself up through the rubble and you look around. It's a gruesome sight. It seems the horses are either dying or bleeding out, but you can see the man laying under one of them, his legs crushed beneath. He's screaming out in pain.
Dr. Silas awakens finally, gets up, brushing himself off, their mask staying very securely to their face, checks her pockets inside her coat, satchels, making sure everything's intact, making sure nothing's broken. And make their way towards the injured stagecoach individual, leaning down and assessing them, how they're doing, besides broken legs.
He looks up at you and he's screaming. He's like, "Oh, please get me out of here!" It appears he's being pinned down by one of the horses. You can see some blood coming out from beneath him. It's hard to get a look at the damage in.
Albert rushes over to try to lift the horse, calling out to the others for help.
Francis make his way up give Albert a hand and kind of look over at her or him.
Gabriel places a hand on a gnarled oak nearby, an omen of what is to come.
Perhaps your god can move this horse.
Shiloh just calmly gets up and starts to collect up her things. Slings a bag over her shoulder. I don't believe he's doing too well.
Come, help.
And Albert's trying to lift the horse on his own at this point if nobody else is joining it.
Francis will join them.
You're just gonna like shove it off, and it'll be a forceful roll. And if you have help, you can create the advantage if someone's helping you.
So I get an extra dice or like an extra bonus because I'm being helped.
Yes. Looks
Okay,
plus
cool.
1 plus D for this. It shouldn't be too difficult for strong individuals such as yourself to remove the corpse from the man. Yeah, easily enough. The two of you together manage to get the horse up. The man is now free, but what you see below is also quite shocking. It seems there's a protrusion bone sticking out from his left leg. The man turns his head, cranes, and looks at it. And he's obviously startled visibly. He's like, "Oh no, I can't feel my legs." I seem to be freaking out now.
Calm yourself, driver.
Dr. Silas will kneel down beside them and put their hand on top of their heads in a semi-comforting way. They look up to Albert.
Do you want me to attempt to medically assist? Or shall I put this one out of its misery? Albert?
What? No. I can walk, I swear.
It does not look like you can walk. You are like an
No,
injured
please.
horse. Something that must be put down.
Doctor,
Yes.
we must do what we can to save the innocent. This man is innocent.
Gabriel walks over, his cane striking the ground beside the man's face. He remains standing and asks the man, "How close is the nearest village?"
We're not too far off. Only a couple miles. Please don't let her kill me.
Do you have bandages, Doctor? Salve?
Of course. Let me...
And she looked down towards the driver's legs, bone protrusion sticking up.
Let me at least shove this back in.
She moves down towards the legs, places her hand on the bone protrusions, grabs the end of the leg, pulling it while shoving the bone back inside the body.
The man lets out an audible scream, pain. He can start tearing up a bit.
Calm.
And Dr. Silas will reach into their large trench coat and guessing we've got some bandages of some sort, splints maybe. Maybe using some of the wood around as a splint, and uses the bandages inside to create one. So we can at least maybe stand up.
Seeing the man's reaction, Gabriel begins to shake his head violently. Couple miles, he's not gonna last that long. No, but Albert said we have to protect the innocent. He appears to be conflicted, fighting with himself.
There is no innocent.
No innocent.
Alicia is the one that marks the innocent, not you. Sir, is the village on the way to our destination, or is it back the way we came?
Oh no, the village, that's our destination, the hamlet. That's why you paid me to take you.
then I shall carry you.
Oh, blessed be upon you, child. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Silas.
I'm going.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna do what I can to lift him and carry him as safely as possible.
Dr. Silas would move away, not bothering to assist in the lifting or anything like that, just kind of standing, reassessing how many bandages they've left, counting them out.
If I am going to waste this type of thing on things that are obviously fully broken, we might not survive the full journey. In case we run into anything else. Albert.
This is going to add hours to our journey. It's best to, let him here. Let us go to the town and we'll send help back for him. If he's going to make the journey, he'd survive just as well out here.
It's a waste
I
of their
believe.
time for them to come out and get him. Even if he's already dead, we would be sending them on a fool's errand. Shiloh.
Well, it's better than that, than us do the fool's errand of hauling him all the way there, just to put him in a box.
Doing what you can to save a life is not a fool's errand. It is the command of Alicia, and it is what must be done.
Albert is strong. It's not his errand that is the fool's, it's the man's. Do you honestly believe he can last as long as the
If he does not last, then he does not last.
My...
But as long as this man has breath in his body, then I will work to save it.
My medical assessment is he will die swiftly and we will waste energy, or you will waste energy, Albert, carrying him. But it is your choice. It is your God's choice. So be it, Albert.
So as you are conversing, what are you up to, Shiloh?
Shiloh, like I said, is just kind of collecting up her things and just kind of going over anything else that crashed out that's worth taking. This isn't, gonna filter through the gear and toss. I'll toss a couple things to like Francis. Here, carry this.
Yeah. So as you're going about collecting some provisions, some tools, you hear a rustling from the woods above you.
What's that?
Dr. Silas is going to stop, make her way to kind of the middle of the group, looking up.
Yeah, I'll look towards the rustling.
Perhaps you can swing the driver as a sword, since you're carrying him.
I'll set the man down as slowly and carefully as I can, while looking up at this wrestler.
From out from the thicket in direction of the noise, you see a man emerge, covered in rags and a coat, and he yells down to you. It's some before you up there, right?
Fine, except for a driver. Who are you?
Me, I'm just some man walking the road. Name's Dismas. And you look quite odd, the group of you there. Huh?
I am Albert Fenn. I am a crusader of Alicia, come to rid this land of the darkness that has absorbed it.
Some fancy armor you got there? Your friends?
Dr. Silas will whisper to Albert.
Are you a fan of armor then?
What was that now?
Are you a fan of fancy armor then?
I can't say I am. Just, even the stock looks quite shiny, don't you think?
But it's not quite relevant to our current situation. So what can we do for you, sir? Are you headed towards the town? You can travel with us if you like.
Oh yeah, I'm headed towards the town. I'd, like some company. Looks like you can use my help too. All that mess down there.
Weapons ready. He has friends. They possess the scourge, I believe.
Perhaps we should call them.
They're coming.
Tommy Dismas. Are you alone?
Yes.
What? Of course I am.
Of course he's not.
That's a real shame.
Come down. Say hi.
Sandra.
Yeah, it's he just headed out for the night.
Well, yeah, just one moment. Actually, I got some rope back here I could throw down to you if you want to come up.
I think we rather you come down.
Gabriel whispers into Albert's ear. A mess down here, yes. But no more mess we'd like. I suggest we just follow the path down towards the village. Don't bother with this strange man.
Is there any like easement back up towards the road and that we can see in either direction, or are we pretty well stuck?
If you were to travel where you're currently at, it'd be a rough trek through the woods. If you return to the road up there, it's a nice little steep climb, but you'd be able to get back on track.
Would I be able to safely get the driver up back to the road?
It depends on how you go about it. If you were to just put them on your back, tell them to hold on and climb up, it might be pretty rough.
You can stick this hook in them, and I'll pull them up.
What? No!
I don't think that's the best idea.
Waiting for the rope might be our best situation. Go ahead and throw down your rope, sir. We'll be right up with you.
Right, I'll do that now. Just give me a sec. Gotta secure it up there. And he turns around, disappears from your line of sight.
We don't have much choice right at
Should
the
not be out in
moment.
the open like this. Agreeing to someone we don't know to climb a rope is...
Yes, it is, but
a terrible plan.
eventually, he's either going to try and kill us or we will kill him. So, I'm just trying to move things a little bit forward and a little more quickly. I don't much like taking the time to wait for someone that I know is going to try and rob me or kill me.
I suppose he's right. Uncertainty is often just opportunity in disguise.
You may choose to fight.
Well, I'll go up first.
I'll be here.
If there's trouble, find out soon enough.
A couple minutes pass by, and eventually you see the man return. He's carrying a length of rope over his shoulder. He says, "Right, I'm going to toss this down now, so..." He gives you a warning before he tosses it. It lands by your feet. It's just long enough to make the journey up there. Any of you injured might want to handle that one first, yeah? Quite the tumble you took.
We have one injured, but we will handle him when the time comes. Let us send up a few able-bodied men to help on your end of things.
Right, guess that works for me.
Francis will make his way over to the rope. Grab hold of it. Start walking his way up the embankment while pulling himself with the rope.
Yep, as you get to the top, the man reaches out his hand for you to grab your arm or something. You
No, he won't. He'll just kind of look at him. Out the way.
Alright. And you climb to the top, and let's just move some things over naturally. When you get there, you see Dismas smiling at you through his rags, but also with him are a few men brandishing weapons pointed at you now.
Oh, good. You brought friends.
No sign of movements, friend. Just step on over here. Don't make a fuss. Don't tell your friends down there, and everything will go smoothly, huh?
No problem.
I'll follow you up, Francis, and then you can pass our driver up after that.
Francis will move over towards the top guy and out the way with his hands by his shoulders.
That's a nice weapon you got there. Why don't you put that on the ground? Alright, I'm tossing you guys a rope. Just one moment. He yells back down.
You mean this axe here?
Hey, don't try anything funny now. One of the guys cocks his musket, I guess.
Would you feel better if you grabbed it yourself?
No funny business. Just drop it right there in the ground, nice and slow like.
It's hooked onto my belt.
Alright, slowly take your belt off. He walks over to the edge. The other two men one has his gun pointed at you, the other one is brandishing his daggers while Dismas goes over the edge again. And
You want me to take off my belt?
the man with the musket responds to you now. Oh, just do what he says, yeah.
But it's holding up
Take it
my
off.
pants.
It's none of my concern. Well, I'm tossing down another rope, Dismas says as he tosses one down.
As Dismas tosses on the rope, you see Gabriel become a little bit jittery. And suddenly, without any warning, he looks up at the man and extends his hand, firing a blast of eldritch magic, I'm supposing.
Okay. Go for it, man. What are you gonna roll for that? Quick, catch him off guard.
Yeah, I believe so.
He'll respond in kind with his quick. So, your incantation perhaps is very visible, it's very bright and flashy. Dismas notices as you let forth a bolt of eldritch energy. He stumbles back. And it misses him entirely.
This...
Dr. Silas will just look over at Gabriel, cocking their head slightly.
Gabriel grits his teeth and he says with a vicious tone in his voice, "That man stinks of ill intent." He shouts out for... what's the character's name? He shouts out for...
Francis?
Yeah, he shouts out for Francis.
Francis?
Would any of the other two rogues there lose their focus off Francis in the flash app?
No, they seem focused on you. So the way I'm picturing this, right, is like a cliffside, right? You're dragged off a little bit towards the back with them two. He peeked over through the rope. Eldritch Blast came that way, like sort of went up, you know?
Okay. Now they're calling my name. You want me to holler down? It's okay.
Just take off your your equipment. It's the slow one saying to you, don't do anything. And he says that Disman says, "The sword the hell was that, mate?" Oh, he takes the rope, starts pulling it back up. He also aims his pistol down there, lets loose a random bullet. It's not aimed at anyone in particular. So shots fired, a warning shot hits the ground below.
Dr. Silas kind of takes a few steps backwards, with her hands up, then kind of like a bit of a surrendering motion. Easy, easy there. Look over at Gabriel. Watch it, fast hands. Looks like because Francis went up, we have to make nice, unless Albert...
Gabriel looks over at her, replying in a whisper.
Someone.
He reeks of ill intent. Before shuddering a little bit and looking back up
Obviously.
at the man and adopting his calmest voice and saying, "I'm sorry, good sir, I understand. You must understand that the paranoia of a traveler. We've experienced a difficult journey, as you can see. I'm sorry if I appear a little bit unstable."
Alright, we'll cut real quick back to Sim. What are you up to? You complying? You taking your stuff off, or?
As they're obviously staring at him, he's gonna make like he's making nice. I think he's gonna go for his belt, but he's really going for his chain and hook, and he's gonna try to hook the guy with the musket, since it's obviously painful.
You being how you doing this? Sneakily? You're going for that, or?
I don't know if you'd call it really sneakily. This just happens to be kind of like in the same area type of thing.
Like what area? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Like it's in the same area where the grappling hook thing is hanging is by the belt.
Yeah, so quickly? You're just gonna like
Yeah.
get one over on?
Yeah, I guess trying to be clever.
Think fast, solve problems, or account for complex variables.
What?
It's clever. It's think fast, solve problems, or account for complex variables. While quick would be action that requires quickly and dexterity, dodging an arrow, getting in the first punch.
And then sneaky, I guess would be. I guess it would be sneaky because I don't think it'd be quick.
Misdirection, stealth, or deceit.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Because obviously I'm trying to make it look like I'm taking off my belt. So how do I roll this?
Whatever your sneak score is, you do a 4df and then plus that.
Gotcha. That roll right.
Yeah. So we'll say you're able to get your hook out and you're ready to make an attack, but everyone, we'll just do this for now. Roll quick, which is basically your initiative. So click your token, roll your quick.
I'm so good at roll negatives.
Is my quick.
If you can add your
Turn
token
boss
to
to-
the
Double quick.
Damn, -2.
Just add it to the turn order, that'd be great. You right-click your token, and then it says add
Wait,
turn.
Turn order.
We can't do that as players.
Oh, eh.
What the?
Yeah,
It's not.
that's all.
Yeah, it's
And
not
no
letting
right-clicking a
me.
token.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Same thing with this.
You can edit your numbers, can't you? Please tell me.
Yes.
No.
Alright, edit your numbers to what you roll.
Which numbers?
Yeah, I can edit my number.
Oh, thank you.
Nah, you gotta hit enter.
Should just
What do
put
you think?
0 because I got negative.
So negative
I
one
can't
and
write
enter.
-1. Oh my gosh. There we go. Have to do it quick.
I believe that's everyone, is it? Am I missing one? Plague Doctor, Crusader, Robber, Occultist, My People, Bounty Hunter. So at the top of the round is Shiloh.
Okay, Is he still at the edge, or did he back away from the edge?
So he is still over the edge. He seems angry. Just fired a shot. You can see the smoke coming out from his.
Okay,
Fair, you guys did fire first. Your cultist shot something.
yeah.
Don't
So
know how
I'm
you
gonna
take
say,
that.
let's just hold on now. Seems to be just a little bit of a misunderstanding. Our dear Gabriel here has a little bit of an issue, as I found out over this short journey. How about you just throw that rope down? He won't do that again. We can get this all straightened out. Okay?
I don't know, man. How can I trust you? What? Fuck, I already forgot the voice. Right. How can I trust you? Won't do any more tricks like that? Why don't you, test of faith? Lay down your weapons, huh? Yeah, you guys can talk. Talking will be a free action for now.
Can't believe
By
it.
the light of Elysia, I swear to you that no further harm will come. And I deeply apologize for my comrade.
I turn to Dr. Salas and I say, well, I whisper, perhaps this facade may be useful to us. And I ask her to to bind my hands in bandages so I may appear peaceful.
You'll be able to do that on your turn. Right now you're
Fine.
So I'm gonna try and go up by where the carriage is, and you know, as he's talking to Albert, try to see if there's a spot where it looks like I can maybe climb up just a little bit away where they won't see.
You trying to sneak away mid-conversation?
Yeah.
You were talking to the guy, so give me a sneak roll. Maybe you got distracted. Yeah, so he seems to be distracted, looking at the guy who shot at him. You're able to sneak off. You're not currently visible to them. And what was your intention with this? Other than
Just-
being hidden?
Just try and get a little bit out of the way where I could maybe climb up the cliffside while he's distracted by Albert and them.
Yeah, you're able to sneak off and find a nice place to climb, but that'll be it for you now.
Fine.
Up there, the man sees you, Sim, reach for your hook, and he notices it and he puts his musket to your head, and you can see him getting ready to pull the trigger. He's like, don't even try it. No, he's gonna kick at your shin real quick.
You gotta kick at my shin.
Yeah.
Is there like a response roll or something to it?
You just want to try to evade it somehow. You can just take it if you want to take that L.
Doesn't he just roll the same type as?
You can defend with it, right? You can defend. You can either dodge it, right, or you can take it and take the brunt of it with your toughness, or you're quick to get out of the way. Sorry, not toughness, forceful.
Yeah, let's tough it out.
All right.
So that'd be. Oh, I mean, that'd be forceful response.
Yeah.
Would like to defend. All right.
Oh yeah, well, you actually succeed so well on him. He goes to kick out his boot, and he sort of trips over himself a bit. He underestimated the distance. He was too focused on keeping the gun at you without firing, and he stumbles. And let's see. For some reason, you see a ball bearing from his musket fall to the ground. And the other man catches his friend's mistake and just sort of pokes a dagger into your back. He doesn't hit you, he says, "Now don't move, eh?" That'll be it for him. Albert Finn?
Please, throw the rope back down. I will come up there myself, and I'll make sure the situation is under control on our end.
Right. You can see Dismas turn his head and look at what's going on. He seems kind of annoyed that the Gabriel isn't... Not Gabriel, sorry. Who are you? Francis isn't disarmed yet. Yeah, just one moment, eh? I gotta make sure this is taut. He steps back a bit. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, I'm just gonna wait for that rope. I'll tell the others.
Don't act so carelessly. We must assume the light in people rather than the darkness until we see otherwise.
You don't suppose the gun has outruled the darkness?
Or shooting down at us, Albert.
And Gabriel shot at him first. The man was simply defending himself.
And what of Francis?
Fine.
Francis!
You'll have me holler down to him.
What I want you to do is take off your weapons. This is gonna be Dismas's turn as he yells back. So I'm not playing around. He puts his pistol right to your head. If you don't do that, I'm gonna blow your head out, eh?
So now he's looking at me with his back turned towards the cliff.
He's looking at you. He's holding his pistol to your face. You got a guy poking a dagger in your back. The guy's picking up his musket ball bearings.
Alright. God, you guys just want to see me naked. It's all you gotta ask. And then he's gonna be stalling. Of course.
You're stalling for time? You're not taking anything off?
He's gonna start, moving slowly.
Right, that's better. Dismas turns back, grabs the rope, says, "Alright, tossing it down now." He tosses the rope down at you guys. Silas, you're up.
Dr. Silas looks over to Shiloh, motioning him towards the rope. Well, Shiloh,
Shiloh is
you go
off.
next.
Seems to have snuck away during your conversation.
Gabriel. Sorry. Gabriel holds out his wrists.
Dr. Silas looks around.
wrists
Oh.
in a request. It's like he whispers to her, "Bind them by the wrists and leave them some slack." He giggles. Deceit is a two-party game.
Fine. And Dr. Silas comes over, takes out their dagger, and actually cuts a piece of Gabriel's clothing off. It's like a small strip. Uses that instead to bind his hands. I'm not wasting my bandages on you, Gabriel.
I'll show him how it's done.
Dr. Silas binds the hands of Gabriel, leaving some slack.
Okay. Gabriel,
so
you are
much.
now bound. Ish. You're slightly bound. Let's put that web there, yeah. And that's your turn. Gabriel, you now have cloth wrapped around your wrists. Is there anything else you want to do?
Gabriel turns to Dismas?
Yep.
Is that correct? Turns to Dismas and slowly moves his hands up to show him. But before that, he wraps the slackened ends around his palms to make it look as though his palms are bound, but in fact, it is only his wrists. He slowly moves his hands up and says, "I'm sorry for my outburst earlier. I am struck with pangs of paranoia occasionally, and I assure you, no one in our party means you any harm, unless you mean us harm." And then, well, okay, if this was once...
What'd you say? I didn't catch that last bit.
If Dismas wants to respond to that comment.
Right, that's all well and good, but which one of you's next?
And then after he responds, and presumably he's looking at the rest of the group, or it doesn't matter, I'll roll clever to loosen my palms and try to fire an Eldritch Blast that way. Hey, who said Eldritch Blasts need wrist motion? I have access to palms.
Alright, you're able to... Would it be clever, though? Who knows? Screw it. Fuck it, who cares? Yeah, you're able to quickly do the incantation while making it appear like you're bound. You're shooting it off at him again?
Well, there's no one else for me to shoot at.
You could suddenly turn your party.
I'm not that unstable. Don't accuse me of things, GM.
So you want to describe how you're hitting them, or just like...
Oh, sorry.
So how are you attacking him, Gabriel?
I simply quickly open up my palms towards him while he, and in the moment, while he thinks I'm still pacified, before he realizes, I unleash a simple Eldritch Blast, targeting center of mass, so not to miss like I did last time.
Alright, I'll give him a -2 on his roll to dodge it, since he didn't see it coming. So it's gonna be, instead of +3, I'll have +1. So, he's distracted. He's like, oh yeah, that looks right. As your blast, center mass target hits. He gets, filled with a burning painful feeling. His eyes shoot open. He stumbles forward and begins to roll down the cliff. Goes tumbling down and lands on the ground. There's nice smoke rising from his chest.
Albert shouts out, "You fool! What are you doing?"
Gabriel shouts at
Dewey
Francis.
has a scourge.
Good luck with that. We'll be seeing you shortly. Not to steal a line from Dr. Silas.
Okay, so, Francis, you see this. You see Dismas go down.
Hell. And then, knowing he's probably gonna get stabbed or shot, I'm assuming the guy is still picking up his little ball bearing and still got a knife in my back at this point, right?
Yep. You've dropped something. You're doing something. You took something off. You know, I don't know what it was.
Well, I was making like I was dropping my belt. I'm just gonna let my pants fall and hold on to my axe head as my pants fall, and then use it as a weapon.
Okay. You're gonna swing it.
Crudely, because it's not being swung, it's in my hand. You know, the head's in my hand, so I'm just gonna try to. I got a knife in my back. Turning around is just gonna be true. I'll turn around and use it as a. I'm figuring like he's holding a rock, right? But only it's an axe head. You know. And
You're gonna be
try-
at a -2 to hit, or at least before he hits you, since you're not facing him, and he's got a knife pointed right in your back.
Yeah.
Slinging out of that, unless you want to spend a fate point or you have a stunt or something.
Let me see what my stunts are again. Let's pop. How many fate points we get?
You got 2. You do have trouble. Takes on more than he can handle.
Yep. It does take out more than hand. And I do have a stun, which is grant 2 to a action using a skill once per scene. So, I mean, I guess I could use a stun if I have to. Would I have to spend a fate point for that, or no?
Yep.
Alright. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use a fate point for that to make it even odds again.
Yeah.
And then I guess, will it be forceful?
So you want to power through him. Just beat the shit out of him.
I mean, I want that axe head to dig into his face with my handle. Alright. Jesus Christ.
Breaks even. Just because he saw it coming, he has the dagger in your back. He doesn't get a stab off of you. He dodges your blows. You turn around.
Yeah.
Shiloh, you're up. Dismas is tumbled to the ground. You can see that.
Is Dismas like away from the rope, or is Dismas near where the rope is at?
He's near where the rope is at. He seems to have been, landed.
Is he still conscious?
From what you can see, there's a smoking hole in him.
Okay, that's probably a no then. Right,
Who knows with the scourge nowadays, am I right?
Well, now that he's done, I think it'd be much quicker to use the rope. So I'm gonna run over and try to quickly go up the rope.
Okay. I did say quickly. So see how fast you can do it if you want to give me a quick roll. Oh yeah, you, in all your grave robbing experience, somehow are very talented at climbing. Maybe from hopping fences or something. You get yourself up there.
Parkour.
Such a nice, pace. You get a nice scene. You can see at the last moment as Francis swings his axe at a man's head who dodges it. They appear to be engaged in combat. I'll give you enough time to talk, like maybe yell down to your party or whatever.
He did have friends.
Albert sighs
I'll-
and looks
I
down
thought
at
so.
Dismas. Go ahead, Bigby. Sorry.
No problem. I'll just say she pulls out a dagger.
Dope. And that'll be it for now, as the musket man. He puts his ball bearing back in, turns to see what's going on, sees you've climbed up, is startled, and tries to take a pot shot at
A pot shot at me, so I guess I would be dodging quickly.
Oh yeah. So it does 1 stress to you, you get shot in your shoulder, it grazes you. Everyone can hear the shot resounding, it echoes.
And now they show their true colors.
Dagger boy is gonna try to stab at you after dodging your
He's trying to stab at me.
Yep.
Okay. I guess I would try to dodge it. It's I think. So it'd be quick would be dodging it?
Yep.
No, that's straight 0. Let's yes. Well, of course.
Just it's a flesh wound, nothing. We'll do 1 stress. There's no disadvantage imposed on you though.
Gotcha.
Albert, you're up.
Seems like it, Dr. Silas.
Albert's gonna start walking over towards Dismas, unsheathing his sword from his back as he does so.
Do you know the tenets of Elysia? Dismas. Do not harm the innocent. Stand against the dark. Do not rely on the comforts of life. You have betrayed these tenets, and for this, I pronounce you to die.
And I'm gonna try to stab down at him.
Okay.
Is this forceful, or what would I roll?
That'd be close. You're stabbing down into his corpse. Oh yeah. You very... What part are you stabbing? Tell me how you just brutalize this dead man.
So, I imagine that he just fell, he's laying on the ground, not really having, probably a bit injured and not really having recovered quite yet. And I'm slowly walking over and unsheathing my sword. And I say my short little speech and then quickly just stab down and pierce him through in the chest and kind of pin him to the ground with my sword.
Any possible chances Dismas ever had of recovering from that flesh, that searing wound in his chest and the fall are brought down to 0 as he is utterly destroyed. There's no chance for this man ever being brought back. Next up is Dismas. He's dead. He continues to be dead. It's very... Plague Doctor. Yep.
So the rope is there, correct? Dr. Silas will take his take their knife and cut the quote unquote bonds away from Gabriel. Look to him, look to Albert. She'll gesture to the rope.
Well, it looks like you two should maybe assist up there. I will wait. I am not a hand-to-hand fighter.
Very well, Gabriel says. And Gabriel will just approach the rope and start to climb if there's no immediately evident threat at the time.
Nope, there don't appear to be any immediate threats. I'm just gonna climb the rope. It's easy enough. Unless you want to try to do it hastily, in which case you might have like a nice little free action. Otherwise, you can't say anything when you get up.
No, I'll just climb up north.
Yep, climb the rope, manage to get to the top. It's not getting quite crowded up here. You can see your friend or your associate fighting. It's his turn.
Alright, now that I'm engaged in the Axis knife fight, I'm gonna go ahead and forcefully swing at the bandit with the dagger hand. There.
Okay.
Still pantless. Fighting naked. Balling it out.
Alright, you're doing two stress, you're not killing him. Describe how you hurt him.
Seeing him dance around. Francis waits for the perfect open to get a lunging axe strike in, almost tripping over his own pants.
You get your lunge, he takes a hit, you can see blood coming out, he seems scared now. He notices that people are surrounded. Shallow?
Which one was that on?
Dagger boy.
Well, I have the more immediate issue of this guy in front of me, or the guy that shot me, I should say. So I guess I'm just gonna try curse at him for shooting me and whip a dagger in. So quick, I guess, or
Yep. You still managed to fuck him up. He was so certain that he got you that he lowered his guard. And right then and there you fling your dagger where you aim.
right for the face.
Right through, embeds itself right in his forehead. A look of shock on his face as he slumps to the ground. There's an audible thud. His musket falls to the side. His ball bearings, loose from a pouch, scatter all over the place.
I'll start walking over to him.
Yeah, you can get right on top of him. But he done did. The musket man, just like Dismas, as the aspect continues to be dead, invokes it, and dies. You know, stays dead. The dagger boy is now very scared at what happened. His two compatriots have fallen. He turns and attempts to flee. He sort of stumbles on himself, so he doesn't get very far. He's still within sight. As Albert, you're...
How are things up there?
One of them's running away.
You ain't getting far.
And we're slightly pantsless. One of us, at least.
We will come up.
I'm gonna stick with the
there-
stagecoach,
Go
and
ahead.
once things settle down, I'm gonna try to find a way to get him back up there. But right now, I'm just wanting to look after him since things seem to be relatively handled up.
Okay. Blood doctor, anything?
Dr. Silas is going to look over to Albert, look to the driver who's carrying.
Look, I understand you want to save the innocents, but we need to hurry, or else he will die soon. She will call up to the rest of them. Is there, you think, a faster way to the city up
So
there?
the road you had been traveling on before, for some reason, being hurled off a ledge, crashing.
So yes. Okay. Dr. Silas will then pause for a moment and
I am not the best at climbing ropes. If I hold on, could you haul me up?
We'll make sure that you are able to get up. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Dr. Silas will go over by the rope, grabbing
Okay.
it and
Gabriel?
waiting.
My body is very frail, I'm afraid. Could one of you... Is he allowed to say youngster? Could one of you youngsters come?
No one's gonna respond to that. He's talking to Francis and
Is he
Sharon.
calling down or is he just talking to everyone up there?
Once you get your pants back on, of course.
Francis is not gonna hear him because he's focused on the bandit getting away. Who made him remove his pants? Not too happy.
It seems your allies do not heed your questions. Anything else you want to...
I still don't think it's worth hauling him along. We should go get help and bring back for him.
We're hauling the witch doctor.
Oh, the witch doctor?
Plague Doctor.
Yes.
The plague doctor. Oh, yes. I'll help, I guess.
The plague doctor, Dr. Silas, is hanging onto the rope at the moment, tugging it slightly.
Whenever you feel the need to help me up, I mean, we can be out here all day, all night. This one's going to die soon, she gestures to the driver. But, if you'd like to keep me waiting, well...
I'll keep the rope steady for you
alright.
and just go ahead and climb on up now. Oh,
I can't climb. I have no depth perception. It's very hard.
wrap the rope around your waist,
I have a mask.
tie it real tight. We'll pull you up just like a sack of loot.
Okay.
If Dr. Silas can, she will do as instructed, using the kind of the rope ties almost
Yeah,
as
together they work up. They work, or they assist in hauling you up. Yeah. With the combined efforts, it's not too difficult. You manage to get to the top. But it is indeed Francis's turn. Yeah. Don't worry about the roll on that one. Yeah. Francis, guy's running away. You can still sort of see him. You don't have to chase him. You just continue on for your own business.
I'm gonna pull him back with my hook.
Okay.
I don't know, what would that be? That would be
I could take that either maybe a flashy, a forceful, or quick. I'll take any of those.
I'll go with my best one then. God, why am I walling so cinnamon-like today?
It's good enough. You want to describe how you hookshot this guy?
Oh, good job.
As he starts taking off, he's gonna unwrap his chain from his shoulder, his hook, give it a twirl and a heave, attempting to hook him in a non-deadly fashion. Not too care though if it, doesn't care if it ends up killing him or not.
You swing it around, maybe you catch his ankle, you trip him to the ground, you can start dragging him. He's like clawing at the ground, the dirt's pulling up as you pull back, and you're reeling him in like a fish. His weapons are disarmed, and you pull him in that great big hole, and he's right by you now.
I'm just gonna go ahead and step on his chest to kind of hold him as prisoner for a moment.
He coughs as air leaves his chest.
Don't be leaving so fast now.
Charlotte, you're up. You've managed to assist in hauling up Silas.
And Dr. Silas is being held up, or hauled up. Will grab Shiloh's hand, using it to assist in hauling herself up. And she kind of gets on her knees on the ground, stands up, brushes off her legs, unties herself.
Thank you for the assistance.
No problem.
Shiloh. Can you toss down the rope? We can probably put the driver's unfortunately alive body within this circle of knots. Hold him up too.
We're gonna end turn order here. Scene's pretty much over. You get some free action this one.
Alright, cool. Albert's gonna try to secure the driver via rope and urge everybody to pull him up carefully.
Yeah, you manage to tie him nice and secure, nice and taut. And if the others do so, it's not very difficult, especially with combined forces, to get the man up there. He seems a bit shaken about his situation, nervous. Oh, thank you.
It is because of Albert that you are alive. That is the only reason.
Dr. Silas will, after getting the driver up on the ridge, will carefully untie him, but make to also touch his leg in a very uncomfortable way to kind of trigger pain before taking the rope and tossing it back down to Albert.
He's not looking
Are there
good
any
up here,
horses, a
Albert.
wagon, anything that can help us transport him?
I'll call up as I try climbing up.
We need to hurry.
Francis looked down at his new prisoner. Do you have horses?
No. No, I'll tell you anything else. We don't have any of that, though.
No horses. Tell them that we have an extra man to carry the load, though.
I think he has a scourge. Let me check him.
Dr. Silas will walk over to Francis and the man on the ground.
May I?
Or would
Go
you
right
like to?
ahead. And kind of give the bandit a kick.
And as Albert probably makes their way up the side of the cliff, Dr. Silas will get just a couple tools from underneath the coat, take them out, look down at the man, knife in one hand, and kind of another knife in the other hand, because I can't think of any other tools at the moment. Look down with the kind of the long nose of the mask touching against the nose of the bandit,
So, is there anything you'd like to tell us before I make sure
No,
to
please don't hurt
cut
me.
the scourge out of you
We got a
permanently?
camp. It's over there, and he points towards the woods.
Where?
10-minute walk. There's a lot of us though, so
Oh, is there some sort of password, dress code? How do they know?
we're like a
it's
family.
you coming in?
Just don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I'll give you my money. I'll never see you again. I'll disappear. I'll change my way.
You're like a family. Does that mean they care about your
We're
well-being?
as thick as thieves.
Good. Good. That means for now, you survive.
And the doctor will get off the bandits, grab him by the hair, digging hands where his scalp is, and pulling him up.
Get up. We're going to go see
You
your
sure about that?
family.
You
Will
already
they do
killed two of
anything to
us.
keep you
I'm not sure if
alive?
they'll let that one slide. But if you let me go, right?
So you're useless.
I'll convince them that we should move camp, and you'll never hear of us again. We'll never travel these roads. You just let me go, please.
And having the bandit with the hand in his hair, Dr. Silas will go behind him, his or her head on the bandit's shoulder, looking over. She draws a blade up to his neck, presses it deeply.
Well, you won't be robbing anyone on these roads anytime soon.
And as she says that, she drags the blade across the bandit's throat.
Blood spatters.
And Dr. Silas drops the bandit to the ground.
Yes, I would agree.
Another one. Cured.
If you excuse me, I gotta put my pants back on.
Please do.
Did
Your
you find out
body
if they
is
had any
highly
horses?
unsightly.
Anything?
They have a camp 10 minutes from here, and
The doctor will point in the direction where they are.
there is many. He did not say if they had horses. He said no. He did not say if they had caravans. He said no. So I am unsure, but seems scared for his life. Maybe he was telling the truth.
Thieves and bandits are unholy in Alicia's eyes. They must be taken care of.
Well,
And the plague doctor looks over to the driver laying on the ground there.
either we assist the driver in getting towards the city without them taking any more injury, or we take care of the bandits. I feel, Albert, that you understand the time constraints with the survivability of
He
that
looks down
one.
at the driver and seems to consider for a moment.
The life of an innocent is
Well.
worth more than the death of evil. We must prioritize this man.
As you wish, Albert. Well,
And as Francis is getting dressed, Dr. Silas look over to Gabriel.
what exactly was that
They
display?
reeked.
Aggression.
I could smell it on them. The malintent. He turns to Albert. Your gods speak... Your gods? Your god speaks only in riddles and half-truths. My voices don't lie, often.
My God has spoken to us and given us ways to live our lives. Attacking someone before they do anything wrong to us is not the way. If you prioritize your voices in your head over Alicia's words again, I will strike you down myself.
I suppose a bullet to the chest would have been preferable to voices in my head then.
Yeah, you almost got me a bullet to the chest.
Do you need aid, Francis?
I'd
I
had
can
worse. If it
assist.
starts festering, then maybe.
You could check this here out for me. I got a little bit of a powder burn or something here.
A powder burn. I am slightly more concerned with Francis, not your slightly slivered hands, Shiloh.
Dr. Silas will see if she can examine Francis while he's putting on his clothes.
Yeah, you can get a nice good look at Francis as he dresses.
What state is he in health-wise? Like, not coins-wise, of course,
He took
but
a push.
injury-wise.
What was your injury?
Severely injured, mildly
He's
injured.
got lungs.
I do have.
He's got a flesh wound.
Let's see.
It's just a
here.
scratch.
I have a stunt for
He's
this.
had
Actually.
worse.
He has a flesh wound. Ah. All right, Francis. Though if you maintain another scratch, I will have to assist you in healing. And Dr. Silas will move over to Shiloh. What is it? Is there a splinter in your hand? Show me. How are you injured?
Oh, I just got a slight nick from his blunderbuss or whatever he was firing there.
And the doctor will examine Shiloh as well, see if she needs assistance.
Probably not.
Probably not, though. Then the doctor looks to Albert.
Well,
Very well.
lead the way.
He's gonna
Albert.
lift up the driver and start carrying him and following the path as quickly as he's comfortably able to.
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer since you're carrying him in. He groans of pains and aches as you get there, but about maybe 40 minutes later, you arrive upon the hamlet. It's very... It's odd to you, Albert. It's a familiar sight, but things seem different. The mood has changed. There seems to be an odd, downcast, downtrodden faces on the streets, just like you remember, you know? People seem sickly, and it's very late at night when you arrive now. It's very difficult to make out the surroundings. There are torches being snuffed out. You can see people walking around. No shops appear to be open.
Can I stop someone who's walking around?
Pardon me. Is there a doctor around? Someone, anyone, who can help this man? Well, you need to come with me. I need
I'm
someone
greatly
that will
offended.
stay in town and see to his needs.
Fine.
Right, we have a doctor.
Acceptable.
He's right over there. Might be asleep at this hour, but he points to a building. It's like a medical facility. Very shoddy one, if that. An apothecary.
Very well. Thank you.
I'm gonna continue that way. Motion for somebody to bang on the door once we get there. Or check the door, assuming it's if it's unlocked or locked or whatever.
The door's locked when you get there. Someone knocks. For a moment, man. He yawns, but he answers it. Very old man, graying hair. He's got glasses on. He looks at you. Oh, set him out on the table. Okay? Seems to be business as usual.
I rush inside and set him down. How's he looking?
The driver?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do a nice little roll. The man has seen better days. It seems the wound, hastily treated, the splint, whatnot, turning an odd green, yellowish color.
Oof.
Blood is dried. It's not looking too hot for him, and at the slightest of touch, the man screams, "Ugh!" Yeah, seems to be a pretty bad infection.
It's going to be okay. Don't worry, Alicia will watch over you.
I suppose she'll be watching over you very soon.
I'm just gonna, like, give Gabriel the, like, rudest side eye, but not comment on it right now.
Well, Gabriel, if you attempt to attack anyone unprovoked anymore, you will also be meeting this god.
I do believe I've already met her. No, it might just be another.
Well, it's best not to be having a fact check now, I would think.
Let us continue, Albert. Is the driver
This
right
looks
here?
grim, but
Other doctor.
I'll do what I can for him. And he starts pulling out vials and putting shit in his mouth, drinking it very slowly. It should ease the pain.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna leave, like, some coin, enough to keep the driver, like, fed and comfortable, and to help with the apothecary's, like, assistant.
Alright, thank you, but I have to ask you to leave for now. I need to get to work. No need crowding around. Where should I send for you in the morning? Let you know his condition. Where will you be staying tonight?
We are heading to the manor.
At that, the doctor, his face sort of widens. It's hard to get a read for what he's feeling, but he seems uneasy. The manor, right. And he sort of just gets back to work.
Cause this is my familial home. Do I recognize this guy at all, or know him in any way?
Yeah, he's much older now. It's been quite some time since you've returned to the hamlet when you went on your, I don't know, your, what's that word called? Pilgrimage, I suppose?
Yeah.
But yes, you know this man. He's very trustworthy, always cares for the people, very fair of his prices.
Awesome. I'm gonna remove my helmet, and look at him.
We have come to fix the errors made by my uncle. We have come to rid this land of the plague and the darkness. And we will do it. Fear not.
Then I'll put my helmet back on and turn to walk out.
Looks like he was going to say something, but as he turned, no words leave his lips. Can exit the apothecary.
Dr. Silas will follow after Albert and come up next to him.
So, where exactly is this
Albert
familial home?
kind of looks behind
Albert.
him, towards, I imagine, this dark, shadowy, like, building in the background.
Oh yes, it looms in very ominous sense from it, but it perches over the hamlet, ever watchful. It's much grander than the surrounding building.
Let's go.
Yes, Albert, lead the way.
We're gonna head that way.
Yeah, I was wondering, anyone else want to add anything
I guess we walk.
in town? We're just going to head to the...
I'll head on along.
Well, the reactions of the doctor were concerning. No, Albert. Maybe we should inquire. Up to you, of course.
My duty is to rid the land of evil, whatever it may be. What that evil is or what it looks like does not matter to me. But if you feel it is necessary, then we may stay and see what can be learned of what is going on. But we must not spend too much time.
One or two villagers. And
Dr. Silas will take a look around.
For the most part, it
Is anybody else
seems
walking?
fairly dead. You can see some people walking in and out of the abbey. There's a tavern or a bar, always rowdy. You can see lights on inside. And off in the distance, like skirting the outskirts of town, you can see a light. And is that a tent, maybe? Maybe there's someone out there.
I think either the tavern or maybe the tents over yonder. Maybe we could find someone who knows, who will speak. Maybe if we have enough coin, we can make their mouths flow.
I will leave the information
Yes,
gathering to
Albert.
you.
I am not the best at that, but I will try for you, Albert.
Dr. Silas takes that to start walking over to the tavern. Looks back to Shiloh, quickly waving them over.
Come, come.
Gabriel will move to accompany her. There's a strange air about this place. Tragedy, perhaps. You can see it on their faces. Perhaps a drink will do us some good.
No, drinks are for those without meaning, those without jobs, those with homes, those with somewhere warm to go to afterwards. Us. I do not think we should be drinking on this job, Gabriel, unless you wish to cloud your mind with such things, though your mind seems already clouded.
There are many minds in one, and perhaps clouding a few would be helpful in this scenario.
Whatever you say, Gabriel.
Dr. Silas will continue making their way into the
Oh,
tavern,
Francis will
seeing if Shiloh and Francis are following.
So the three of you make your way into the
Shiloh will go
tavern.
along.
Or the four of you, as Albert is left contemplating his familial home. You enter, you're greeted with a sight. It's a bit dour, although the mood seems a bit better than what's out there. People are drinking, gambling. There are a few women perched at a table, suggestively looking at you. A very burly man's a counter, polishing off a wooden mug. There's a nice layer of filth on everyone in here, though.
Dr. Silas is gonna shiver, kind of looking at everyone so filthy, so dirty, disgusting. And looks at the other three. Would any of you like to interact with these vermin?
reminds me of home.
Well, you get along with him
There's a
fine
reason
then,
I'm not at home,
Francis.
but we shall see. You know, if Daddy's gonna go over and start mingling for some information gap.
Anyone in particular?
Possibly looking for the not so drunk but drunk enough chap that's wouldn't mind doing some talk.
Yeah, the people gambling probably aren't too drunk. They want to keep some track of their money as they're throwing bits of copper around. There's a table. Some people are rolling some dice.
Perfect. Got a game going on. Looking for another taker.
That's right, was in it for some more coin, huh? You know how to play.
Explain it to me. I might have played this once or twice.
Right, so 6 and 2s, and he goes on. He starts describing the rules of the game. You have to roll a certain number. It's 2 6-sided dice that you roll. Goes into detail.
Easy enough. Yeah, with that, he's gonna start partaking before he starts asking questions.
Okay. Yeah, just roll me like 3 pairs of D6s. 3 couples, so 6 total. Yeah, you're not doing too hot here. So you're losing some coin, but they seem to warm up to you.
So I'm new in town. What's the good word?
Good war on what?
The good word of the town. Doesn't look too lively.
Nah, not much of that anymore.
Anymore.
Things were different at a time before that lad in that castle over there took over. What's his name? Fendril? Flen? Something like that.
Oh? What has he done to make this town not as prosperous as it once was?
Can't say for myself for certain, but I know there's a lot of money thrown around, hiring some surly sorts. Not like us, I swear. Not the kind you want to associate with. Used to prance around claiming to be a man of science. Not a fan of myself, but I don't know. Some weird experiments I hear.
I see. You don't think the scourge is abound, do you?
I certainly hope not.
That doctor, is he a good doctor?
He does what he can. Running low on supplies. For some reason, caravans and trade routes have been making their stops. Don't know why.
Oh, I'm sure there's a reason. Very good reason why they're not making their stops. Perhaps bandits.
Bandits hate those folk. We're all just trying to live our lives, eh? Can't leave us.
Hmm. So tell me more about these scoundrels that are in town now.
Haven't seen him in a while, but one was captain of some ship, yeah? They would carry things back and forth from the manor. Always hidden, always covered in drapes or whatever.
You don't say.
Look like proper pirates, you ask me. Didn't mess with them, though.
Has anybody had a run-in with them?
What to say? I'm not a man of the sea. You might want to ask the fisherman, eh?
Yes, a fisherman. And all this is going on as he's playing, so after losing a few more, he'll... Well, I feel like I lost enough to you lads.
Come back anytime.
Hmm.
Thank
Will
you,
do.
stranger.
Thank you. And with that, he'll start going back to the doctor. Dr. Silas. Well, seems like our friend Albert's family is up there doing something weird from what I understand it. Consorting with pirates.
Weird.
Yeah. Yes. Whatever they're
Dangerous
doing, they're
sort.
moving and taking stuff from the castle.
Well, we better let Albert know. They will want to quickly head up there, figure out what's going on.
And Dr. Silas will look over to Shiloh and Gabriel. And Gabriel, what are you doing
Just
right now?
taking in the information. A castle like that, people pillaging it, I suppose. That could be interesting. Such an ominous presence that looms over it. Nothing good can come from that.
Well, let us take our leave. Unless Francis, Gabriel, you have anything else you want to ask these wretches?
I think I've spent enough time with them.
I wonder if Albert will let me cleanse this town. Seems like it is filled with the scourge.
Yes. A fire and cleanse, I feel like, is the only thing that's gonna work from the look of these people.
I believe so too. For when things are cleansed with fire, things can be born from the ashes. As a
I doubt the
rebirth.
religious one would let you.
Shame. Well, let us take our leave. I am very glad to have this mask on. I cannot imagine the smells that you are encountering.
Smells like a good 5 days worth of travel in the scorching sun.
So like
Very
your home.
homely.
Dr. Silas will take their leave of the tavern, heading back out to Albert
Has your curiosity been satiated?
Yes, Francis found out some information. Dr. Silas will turn to Francis.
Well, that seems your family member that lives up there in the Ivory Castle is consorting with pirates of some sort, moving stuff in the cover of night down to and fro. But nobody knows what they're moving because it's always covered.
Then we should hurry. We should cleanse this land of these pirates and this darkness and these bandits. And then we shall move on.
I feel like this town needs a cleanse as well.
The townspeople have not done anything wrong yet, in my eyes. If that changes, then they shall be dealt with as well.
Even with these herbs stuffed into my mask, I can still smell the evidence of the scourge in this town.
No harm shall come to them until their corruption is proven and seen, not simply smelled.
As you wish.
Dr. Silas straightens their back, crosses their hands over their chest, tapping their fingers against their upper arm. Looks a bit exasperated, but ultimately will accept your words, Albert.
Fine. Let us continue then to the manor.
Very well.
I will pick up my sword and guess we'll start walking that way.
You guys make the long haul up to the manor. As you approach the gates, it seems left open, and you enter the courtyard, but it seems overrun by weeds, unkept. Though from afar the place looks like a place of luxury, walking through it now, an ominous feeling looms over you. Just everyone has a sense of dread film for a moment, but it disappears the next.
This place has changed.
How so?
What do you
It was so
mean?
much brighter when I was a child.
You don't suppose
can
the
just
clouds
feel
have
the
anything
dark.
to do with that?
It's not just that. There is something here. I can feel it.
One curiosity sated, and another unveiled.
Seems that way. Let's continue.
So you continue on, you come up on two large doors. It takes some effort to push open. It opens up to a grand hall, a golden chandelier is apparent, as revealed before you. You look around. There seems to be a film of dust on items. There are cases and there are missing items. It just seems to be as if it was ransacked. God, sorry. It's in disarray is what I'm implying here. As a child, you remember this place absolutely filled to the brim with family heirlooms and just very fancy whatnot. Now, not so much.
Do I see anybody around, or is it just seemingly empty?
It doesn't appear to be anyone here. No attendants, your uncle, no one.
Gabriel wipes a layer of dust off the mantle of a nearby fireplace, and he looks at his finger, which now has a black film on it. I can see what you mean by darkness.
Because dust is indicative of darkness. I understand
Uh,
that.
Albert's gonna call out for his uncle.
Your voice echoes throughout the halls. After a moment, you're met with nothing but silence.
We'll need to search.
Let's proceed with caution, maybe, Albert.
And Dr. Silas will reach into their robes. I'm assuming, based on kind of the characteristics, I've got some sort of toxic concoctions that I've brewed up in terms of
Yeah?
in my experiments. Yeah, so Dr. Silas will pull those out. The green liquid within these glass baubles that she has now in her hand. She has one left, one in the right. She looks to the others.
I do not know what we are going to run into in this area, but I feel like we should be more prepared than last time.
You don't suppose
We need
your
to
uncle
drag
was already
around
killed
someone
by these
else.
ransackers, do you?
I believe it may be possible. We'll need to carefully search, see what we can find.
His voice adopts a wicked tone, and he says, finding a cold body in one of these rooms would certainly be quite the surprise.
I hope to not be surprised then. Gabriel, I do wish to remind you, when you first came to the Church of Elysia, you were seeking answers to those voices in your head and that darkness in your heart. And we have welcomed you and we have brought you in. But especially now that we are facing such a palpable darkness, you will do well to remember not to listen to what those voices are saying, and to instead listen to the teachings of Elysia.
You did recruit me for the voices, didn't you? What's the saying? It takes one to know one.
It also takes one slip
I recruited
to
you
fall, Gabriel.
because I believe in your potential, not necessarily because of what you are right now. I simply believe you can be so much more. Let us continue. I believe my uncle's chambers were this way.
Yes, let us. And Francis will hold on to his axe this time instead of having it in his belt.
Yeah. As you proceed through the manor and you begin walking up the stairs, so Gabriel and Albert, for different reasons. Albert, you feel a sense of dread. Gabriel, a sense of connection as you walk by the stairwell. If you proceed further, you can reach your father's chambers, your uncle's chambers. You know it's to be the third door on the right, the largest room, naturally.
Yep, that's where I can only think to head right now.
You come upon the door, you try to handle, and it's open. In the room, it's a bed. The bedding seems to be missing. There's a desk, and on this desk is a lit candle and a journal.
How tall is this candle? Or like how much is it burned down?
It seems to be on its final stretch. There's a layer of wax beside it, just filling in a pool.
Gabriel notices also, and he's drawn towards the journal, which he opens and finds. What does he find?
The pages, many pages are scrawled and writings. It appears to be from a well-educated man. You look over some of the words, he's very articulate. Is there anywhere in particular you want to start from? Gabriel, you're the one with the journal right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Was it left open to any specific page? Or
It was
there,
not. It
like,
was
bookmarks?
closed.
Is there any bookmarks or dog-eared pages in?
No, it appears it's just well used, but nothing comes to. You don't seem to recognize any signs of like, hey, this is important. Read this.
Gabriel feels the sensation of connection wash over him again, and he shudders, shaking it off, before handing the journal to Albert, saying, "If these are the words of a dead man, I suppose it is your right by blood to read them first."
Just nod my head. I'm gonna turn it to the most recent entry.
You open up to the last page with writing on it. And it's a single page. It's a small section of it filled. It reads, "I will return to Cuthbert's banner and Bolin's crossbow so as to honor them with a proper burial. I will leave what is left of Thrice Damned, Vizier and his trinkets to the swine folk. Perhaps they will build him the memorial he rightfully deserves."
Well, I'm gonna turn back a few pages, see if I can make any sense of that from the other diary entry.
You turn back. It seems to be maybe 10 pages or so. You start reading about an animalistic shrine that was found in the crypts of the manor. You keep flipping through how he had been experimenting with pigs, attempting to raise the dead. You flip through more and more. He hires a crew. They dig deeper and deeper into the manor, uncovering some ominous, some mythical aura, I suppose, that helps with their studies. And it's all very gruesome to someone as you, a man of the cloth.
I'm
It's very
gonna,
occult in nature.
yeah, I'm gonna close the book after. I can't really take any more. We need to enter the crypts. That's where we will find what we are looking for.
Alright, Albert. What exactly are we expecting? Good. Great.
Dr. Silas looks concerned about that.
Let us be
Towards
off then.
evil we go again. Don't suppose we're gonna be removing it anytime soon.
We will carve it out like we will carve out the scourge from this land, Gabriel.
You seem to have a rather straightforward
Yes.
concept of all this.
Of course, it's good to have something very straightforward in mind. Keep your eyes on the goal, Gabriel. Do not get distracted by the voices in your head, Gabriel.
So Albert, you're able to navigate this familiar place. You're able to find what you know to be it's the entrance to a crypt. You don't know what used to be down there. Your family wouldn't let people in or out, you know?
Yeah.
There's a door that's locked, or at least previously locked. And there's chains thrown about. The lock is open, the door is shut, but doesn't appear to be impeding any progress any longer. That sense of dread fills you again, and Gabriel, now it's stronger than ever. This connection, this familiarity, such as the voices that
Gabriel can feel this force pulling on him, and you can hear the click, the rhythmic click of his cane as he walks rapidly towards the chains to unwrap them. He opens the door, and what does he find?
you open the door, and it seems to be a staircase, stone descending into the darkness, but instantly anyone near can hear a squealing, very shrill voice from within the crypt.
And Dr. Silas gets a shiver up their spine and visibly cringes from this high squealing noise.
I am not a fan of this.
Albert
But we-
takes a deep breath, slightly shaking as he does, and then unsheathes his sword. We must continue. We must take care of this.
Of course. Combat the evil. Combat the scourge. I'm with you, Albert.
Yes, we must work together.
Gabriel's lost focus, and he's stopped trying to converse with all of you, simply heading down the staircase at a reasonable pace. He's not rushing.
You descend and the darkness overtakes you. In order to proceed further, you'd probably need a torch lit, so someone needs to carry one of those. Dedicated torchbearer.
I will carry the torch. I do not mind. I'm not one for this close combat. Does anyone have
Imagine Albert would.
torches?
Shiloh rescued provisions from the broken cart, so I don't know if they dispersed it or not. But
Yeah, I have whatever you need.
Shiloh.
got it.
Do you
Oh
have
no,
a
he disappeared. The darkness took him.
What? I swear I didn't attack him.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
You're good.
So, Silas, you're alright. We thought the darkness took you away. If you have a torch, it would be
Of course I
most
have a torch.
handy at the moment.
Here you go.
Dr. Silas will reach out and take the torch with gloved hands, carefully avoiding Shiloh's own hands, looking with body language as the mask was still tight on their face. disgusted by getting near him. And Dr. Silas strikes a torch, lighting it, holding it above their head for the rest to kind of see the area. Thank you for being
It is
so
what I
prepared,
it
Shiloh.
is what I hope to be rewarded for. Hopefully when this is all said and done.
Yes, because bearing torches. Yes, because bearing torches is
being
definitely
prepared
worth
is
money and much
Worth
coin.
its weight in gold.
Indeed. Sure.
You all continue to descend into the manor's depths. A smell hits you strong now of rotting meat, flesh, and blood. You can see stains on the walls. The squealing as you continue forward grows louder and louder. Eventually you come upon a door, but in front of the door, very odd sort of shrine made of bone. Seems to be out front, maybe warning intruders not to enter.
Something is afoul here.
Yeah, I'm gonna step forward and fucking cut through that shrine.
I'm sorry, can anyone hear music?
No.
No.
Alright. I have a track playing, whatever. You cut through the shrine, it crumples to your blade's might. It seems very poorly crafted, very crude in nature.
And Dr. Silas will look from afar at this bone structure, making sure to kind of stay within either the center of the group or at the back.
Okay, real quick. How are people doing with time? Since Shiloh's gonna be leaving soon.
He ran away like a chicken.
It's 1:30. We've been...
It's a weekend, so I have very few restrictions.
Yeah, I'm good, but if we need to stop, we can stop. Bigby, you're good though, so no worries there.
I can try to wrap it up quick.
Up to you, Demi.
Yeah, screw it. We'll rush some things.
Sure. So, he's like, I guess Shiloh runs
You could
away.
hear the heartbeats too.
Very scared of all these things.
Right. So Shiloh, maybe seeing this shrine struck a primal fear in her heart, turns tail. You can hear her and her equipment clanking away. She runs up the stairs. Sorry, did you guys open the door? No, I'm sorry. Right. So one of your companions has turned
yet.
tail and ran.
And Dr. Silas will look back as Shiloh has unbravely run away. Look back to the rest. She'll look to Albert. Well, this being your familial home, I leave it up to
Yes,
you
there's
to
really no time to hatch
open
a
the
plan.
door.
Albert steps forward and rests his hand on the door as he stops for a moment and just breathes. And he whispers quietly to himself, "The light does not consider the darkness when it arrives. It simply disperses it." As if to try to kind of reassure himself as he's facing the evils of his family. He breathes
And then he pushes the door open, stepping through it as he does.
Alright, everyone give me quick rolls for initiative. I will describe the scene as it plays out in front of you. So as you open those doors, displayed in front of you in an alcove, there appear to be many beast-like. Their flesh is tight and taut and right. It's a very disgusting sight. These pig-like beings with human traits are crowded around a mound of meat, and with them they carry crude weaponry and armor, and there's just blood splattered everywhere. The odor is quick to hit you. Let's change music, yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm unable to hear it, unfortunately. Oh, it happens. Just reflects the
None of my
absolute
music's working
emptiness
now.
and horror within this place. Oh no.
We'll make our own
It's a
music.
moment.
That one works.
It's Darude Sandstorm.
Roll 20, play Despacito.
I'll just
Yeah,
wait.
no, alright. None of my tracks are working, so sorry about that.
Just wing it.
Hey, that's sound.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I'm not. Oh, this is a bad idea, Albert.
Gabriel
I'm not
closes his
pleased with
eyes.
this.
Can you hear it? The heartbeats?
Dude,
Dr. Silas's cracks his neck. He just looks at these things. It's very audible crack. The scourge is deep.
do you
within.
know the tenets of Alicia?
Oh no.
Do not harm the innocent. Stand against the dark. Do not rely on the comforts of life. These creatures have harmed the innocent. They have consorted with the darkness. So we must stand against them.
I stand with you, Albert.
I don't
Just
suppose you'll
slightly
be
to the
running
back.
us too.
No, I am more of a ranged combatant. I do not engage in such things such as melee. I find it barbaric. These creatures, I feel, are about to tear us apart. We will
This
see.
mound of flesh in the center, like, do I get any feeling from that? Is it alive or is it literally just a pile
Oh,
of...
it is struggling to keep itself together. It's sort of... You can see bones sticking out, but it has a gelatinous feel to it, and it shrieks. It's the first thing to notice you as you all enter. So once I get all your initiative rolls in there, we'll see what happens.
-1.
I'm at 0.
Yeah, so first off will be it. It cranes its heads very difficultly, but its several eyes look at you. Its mouth opens up, a long tongue slumps out to the ground it touches, and it shrieks that shrill pig swine shriek that you heard from earlier. And it draws the attention of all its worshippers. They all turn to face you. They sort of echo its war cries as they brace for battle. Who is in front?
Me.
Alright. So instantly, These two in the armor come charging at you, their claws and weapons ready. We're going to do one attack roll for both of them. So they come charging at you for 4.
Okay, what am I rolling? Am I
You can either
rolling
try to
quick?
get out of the way with quick, or you can try to brace for the impact with your weapon and your armor with your, not toughness, with your forceful.
Forceful?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do, I mean, they're both the same, but I'll do forceful. It's more Albert.
You brace yourself for the charge of the beasts, and you're able to stop one of them, but with their combined efforts, they manage to topple you, and you come crashing down, injuring yourself slightly.
So I take 2 stress, right?
You take 1 stress right now, because you still have that track open. One of the pig beings in the back begins to, using a loose bone, drum on this very leathery looking drum that has wrapped around his neck. The other pigs sort of squeal in delight or in fervor. Albert, you're up.
Alright, I'll attack this kind of bottom one. Can I flashily attack it while kind of shouting about, like, kind of ridding the world of darkness and being blessed by the light of
preaching.
Elysia? Yeah, basically I'm preaching while I'm killing
Your
these things.
righteous holy fury.
Yeah.
You manage to slam down your blade with all the power of your god behind you. The creature attempts to block with its shield. The shield splinters at your might, and you draw blood. It doesn't go down, but you've damaged it. Gabriel?
Gabriel is standing frighteningly still before he turns his head to look at the interrupting the I think that is the helmeted
You send forth your eldritch magic, and it comes, hits the creature right in its head. It dislodges, it displaces his helmet, goes clanking to the ground. Its snout puffs out, blood is coming out of it now. And it's not dead, but it seems very pissed. Its eyes focus on you. Doctor, you're currently holding the torch, the only source of light in this room.
I think... so the doctor reaches into her coat and again pulls out the bauble full of these toxic gases that she has brewed up. Still holding the torch, she lobs the toxic, almost grenade, into the center mass, towards the back, towards this effigy of meat and screaming flesh. So, oh, I'm guessing that would be.
Describe how you're doing it.
What would that be exactly?
Really with accelerated. If accelerated, as long as you describe it
yeah.
a certain way, you can pretty much roll whatever you
Pardon?
want.
Mm-hmm. So, so looking for like a very particular place to throw this kind of handmade noxious cloud. She's going to calculate exactly the kind of angle that she needs to throw it, and will
The two
cleverly
pigs
toss
who
it
are not
into this
drumming,
group.
who are surrounding the effigy, will attempt to intercept your throw. So you got a 2 and a 1.
Oh, they can try. Oh, oops. Alright, my bad. 2.
And I'm gonna
There you
use
go.
one of my fate points, which I haven't yet, to invoke their fervor for their god, to give the 2 plus 2 to 4. So you toss your grenade, and he sees it, and with all his pig wisdom, opens his mouth wide and attempts to swallow in midair. He manages to do so and takes, what'd you roll? A 3? Let's go with his 1. He takes 2 points of stress damage. You can see his eyes tearing up as the noxious gas poisons him from within. But as long as his god is safe, he's happy with his work.
Destroy the effigy. Maybe this will destroy these men. Or creatures, whatever they are.
You're up, Francis.
The effigy, you say? We must advance. Francis attack the closest one. That one right there.
Currently shieldless.
Just how I like 'em.
You have matched everyone's roll this day.
This is my luck.
You come charging in, and the beast manages to parry with its hooked claw. No damage is done. The 2 of you lock eyes or engage with each other now. The pig god shrieks once more, and out from its flesh, mosquitoes or flying, buzzing insects begin to leave through its throat, out of its mouth, and begin to swarm the room. That's all it does. Francis, the beast you just attacked, attempts to attack you with its claw. 3 to hit.
And Francis will parry out the way.
Oh yeah. You guys seem to be equally matched in swordsmanship, apparently, so I don't know how you want to take that one. Trained bounty hunter versus a pig. Albert, you're up.
I'm gonna attack the same one that I had before. Thalashally,
Okay.
slashing down at it with my blessed great sword.
You manage to do another point of stress. It seems to be distracted with its fight with Francis. And your holy wrath comes crashing down in its neck. You can hear the snapping of its spine as it comes crumpling down. The other pigs rebound in their fervor, squealing even louder now. Gabriel?
Having gotten over his initial rage at the helmeted pig for blocking the drummer, he more precisely aims his next blast to disrupt and hopefully kill the drummer.
Ooh, nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, your blast goes flying through the air. The drummer, so busy keeping the tempo of his people going, doesn't see it coming, is scorched by your eldritch magic. His squealing stops, the beat of the drum stops as he falls to the ground, dead.
Gabriel breathes a sigh of relief as he can clearly hear the heart.
Doctor?
My doctor will reach into her coat again, rooting around, finding a sachet, maybe finding something that will disorient these musicians, something loud, something noisy, something bright, and pulls out almost kind of a makeshift flare almost. And again, she will cleverly place it near the effigy, and with the swarms of bugs coming out, maybe that'll do something about them too.
The two guardian
She
pigs
lobs
will
it
attempt
over.
to intercept again. We'll just go with the same one from earlier. The pig that ate your blast from earlier once again does so, but this time it's too much for him. As he...
Is it possible, because this is my only goal is to disrupt this and to try and create some sort of disconnect between them and the effigy, that I can invoke a fate point and
Go
use
for it,
my
add
one-track
+2, which should
mind
give you 1 over
aspect.
on it.
This is my only focus.
So the pig attempts to intercept, is unable to do so, so comes out of that one unscathed. However, your attack reaches the effigy. It shuts its mouth in pain. You want to describe the damage it's doing? It's not too much, but you've definitely disrupted.
So due to the chemical reactions within the sachet that she has concocted, once it is connected with a force great enough to kind of make it explode and have all the components combine, there's flashing lights, fizzling of the elements combining, and basically there's lots of bright interference. It's kind of
Its many
distracting
eyes
everything
work
over there,
against it as it's
blinding it.
stunned by the brilliant light. It sort of sways its head back and forth in pain. And the mosquitoes seem to be dispersing, but no longer emanating from its gaping maw. For instance,
Well, it's gonna advance, attack the next row of pig guardians. Get a little closer. Engage this one right here.
yeah, you want to tell me how you kill it?
So after the one got dispatched with some holy furious rage, Ranch is gonna have a smile on his face as he moves up. Swine. I shall carve you up. And he raises his axe and slams it down, driving it into the pig's skull.
Okay, that one's now taken care of. Once again, it's the Swine God's turn. The Swine God notices that its followers are slowly being dealt with. And this time, instead of opening its mouth to let out insects, it looms forward very painfully. It sort of lurches its head and attempts to take a bite out of you, Sim. Okay, now roll a 1d6, please, for me. As its teeth bite through your leather armor, I suppose, or any openings in your gear.
Ouchie.
It draws blood.
Oh
And,
no.
you're able to pull back from that. It doesn't like latch onto you. But this stings more than an average bite. There's something off about it. You notice is a thought that just goes by your mind. The other pig. So Helmet Pig, who doesn't have a helmet. I believe he was angry at Gabriel for blasting him. He's gonna shoot by Albert, charging right at you. 4.
What am I rolling against that?
Either quick to dodge, forceful to just take the brunt of it. He manages to tackle you and get on top of you. You take 1 stress. Albert, your companion's being pinned by a pig.
Yeah, both of them are in a bit of a rough spot. I feel like Francis is in a bit more danger, though. I'm gonna rush forward, and I'm gonna try to kill this guy.
Oh, yeah. Wilbur was on his last strings as you come by, still recovering from that explosive damage from earlier, the poisonous gas. You swing your mighty sword and Wilbur falls to the ground. Gabriel?
When the pig tackled him, he was entranced by the force drawing him towards the effigy. But the pig broke his trance, and he just, smacks him with a little bit of magic.
Oh yeah. Describe how you kill it.
He's got me pinned down, he's on my chest, and I managed to reach out an arm from underneath my back and place it directly on, I don't even know what that spot's called, the center of his chest. And you see his flesh sear against my palm as he burns.
Doctor? Seems the last of the pigs is the effigy itself.
The doctor will again take out one of the flashing sachets for distraction, for blindness, as it worked fairly well last time. The doctor again will pick a spot, and there's eyes all around on this thing, correct? Or is it just in the front? Okay, so she'll place it just enough behind that it's not too visible from the others. Somewhere about here, but still getting in the line of sight of this effigy, and she will toss it, and while she does, I'll cleverly toss it. And while she does, she'll yell to the others, "Eyes closed!" And she tosses it over.
The searing light manages to absolutely stun the beast, leaving it recoiling in pain. It flings around, trying to protect its eyes, but parts of it begin to fall off since they're not properly attached. It begins crumpling. It's on its last legs now. Francis?
Seeing as it's flailing around and eyes are falling off, if Francis is gonna grit his teeth, do a mighty backswing, and try to break right through it with his axe. Of course.
Francis, you go for a swing with your axe, but that pain in your arm just sort of spikes, and it distracts you momentarily. You take a look and you can see, even though the wound is fresh, your skin seems to be turning an odd shade. Hard to tell in this dark conditions, but that definitely doesn't feel right. So you're unable to lay out the killing blow. The creature on its last legs sees that you are right next to it, hesitant, and attempts to strike you down.
So he's just gonna try to take the brunt and defend himself.
You're able to brace yourself. You're expecting it this time. Also, some of its teeth have fallen out, so its bite is not nearly as bad as its bite. Ah, bark. Damn it. Anyways, you managed to withstand the blow. And Albert, you're up.
As Gabriel can see Albert, well, actually, no, like,
Okay. Albert's gonna shout. Well, not shout because he's right there. Francis, are you okay? And he's gonna strike down at the effigy. Oop, that first one.
Oh yeah. Rightfully so. You end this creature's life. You want to describe?
So Albert sees that Francis should have had it and should have been able to kill this creature, but suddenly, as he was doing this backswing, he just grimaced and kind of lost himself for a moment. And definitely concerned Albert. And so as he was preparing his strike, he just called out to his companion, but put all of his strength into this blow that he could muster, and struck down the creature.
The squealing stops. A few more mosquitoes escape its body, but it seems for now the horror has been dealt with.
And the doctor will quickly hurry over to Francis, examining him. These marks, they're not good. Come, and she'll shine a light
Just a little peck.
on the wounds. Doesn't look like it, my friend.
It does hurt quite a bit, though.
I might have something just for that. She'll reach into her coat, pulling out a vial of some sort of reddish liquid. And she'll tap the needle with her finger and have a little bit of the liquid kind of spurt out from the top. Give me your arm, Francis. This might help.
I guess it's
I
gonna hurt
don't
me
know,
more
but
than you.
we'll see.
And he'll
I hope so.
doctor his arm.
No. Dr. Silas will inject Francis with what she hopes is some sort of
Yeah, sure, give me
healing
that
aid.
clever boy roll. You have a stunt, maybe? You want to boost
So clever.
it?
Let's see. I do have an aspect healer of the sick.
Bring you to a 5.
Use that. Big
Okay.
one.
You inject the serum, Francis. It's very painful. And the effects, only time will tell.
I'll bandage you up now. The doctor will again put the used syringe away in her jacket and take out some bandages and start bandaging you up, Francis.
That hurts.
No, stay still. I understand, but the pain means you're alive.
Gabriel can hear the heartbeat of the creature slowly fading, but he can tell there's still just an ounce of life left in the creature. Not significant enough to do anything, but he walks over to it and he inspects it, seeing what it was, how it came to be, and he turns to Albert and says, this god of yours, he grants justice, yes? And this was it?
Alicia grants judgment, and judgment has been cast.
Is there a place for mercy too in her sermons?
Not against the dark.
This creature, it's born of the same force that I am. It's heard the whispers, but its mind was too feeble to bear them. It didn't ask to be morphed into this. He turns around and, a rare occurrence, he's wide-eyed and he's looking directly at you. He's making direct eye contact, which he does not do often. And he lays his palm on the creature's head and he uses his magic to disintegrate, to cremate the remains of this beast.
Perhaps this should be a warning to you then. A warning to pay special careful with those voices that you hear so regularly. Because this is the path that they will lead you down.
It had no choice in the matter. It's a pity we couldn't have given it a quicker death.
We've done what we could.
I suppose his eyes have cleared up now, and whatever stronger, darker influence was in this area is clearly now gone. And he gets up and turns towards the door and waits for the rest.
Francis, how do you feel?
He's AFK.
Ew.
You'll be fine, Albert. Just needs time, some rest. Maybe we can take refuge either in the manor or in the town while he heals. Maybe find out exactly what happened to your uncle.
Yes. I think that will be best. Wait just one moment.
And Albert's gonna go into the next room
Of
and
course.
kind of like look around at what's in there.
You look around, there appear to be corpses of humans, just meat stacked everywhere, bones. It's terrible.
Do I see any sign of my uncle? I think it would probably be really hard to tell, but that's definitely what Albert's on the lookout for.
Unless you were intimately familiar with the internals of your uncle, I'm gonna say no.
Sounds good. And there's not any other hallways or anything from this room, right? Or,
Negative.
okay.
Maybe it's best that we head back into the town and rest for a few days. We can search this place more thoroughly and make sure we've killed what needed to be killed once Francis is well again.
Of course, Albert. And Dr. Silas assists Francis on leaving this place, helping him hobble down towards the
You
town
make your way
to
out
head out.
of the manor, Albert, with that journal in your hand. You remember that the last century was about 3/4 of the way through the book. You can only wonder in horror what else is written within the names of those people. But as you exit your uncle's manor, the scene fades to black, and we'll call it.
We did it!
Yay!
Yay, we killed the bee!